Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing just happens out of mere coincidence. For those who've been following the politics of this country very closely, you should have noted that immediately William Ruto took over as the President of the Republic of Kenya, he focused on ODM governors. Why do you think William Ruto was focusing on ODM governors? The truth of the matter is that between 2017 and 2022, William Ruto focused on members of parliament. And while he was focusing on members of parliament, Raila Odinga then focused on governors. So William Ruto's politics between 2017 and 2022 was around members of parliament, so that he would go up to a place, he would be accompanied by several members of parliament. For Raila Odinga, his politics revolved around governors. For example, if Raila Odinga wanted to go to Kilifi, he would depend on the governor for Kilifi. If he wanted to go to Mombasa, he would depend on the governor for Mombasa. If he wanted to go to, say, Kisii, he would depend on the governor for Kisii. So when William Ruto got into power, the first thing he focused on was to separate Raila Odinga, or to disconnect Raila Odinga from the governors. So he identified several governors. One of the governors William Ruto focused on was the Mombasa governor, because of course during the elections he really wanted the Mombasa seat, to an extent that he even colluded with Wafula Chebukati and postponed that election. So he managed, and Mombasa governor became one of the first governors from ODM side to work with government. He then went to Kisii and managed to win the heart of Simba Arati. There's a reason I'm giving you this history, so that Simba Arati, who Raila Odinga had hoped would help him in Kisii politics, then became close to the government. In fact, even the Mandamanos which just ended, Simba Arati never participated. Then William Ruto didn't end there. He then went to Kakamega. He won the heart of the Kakamega governor to his side. Then he went to Trans Nzoia. He managed to win the heart of Natembeya. He even went to Busia. William Ruto went to Busia. And indeed, he won the heart of Ojamong. In Luanda here, he was working very closely again with the governor. So generally, William Ruto managed. In fact, even the Tana River governor, the second term governor for Tana River, he managed to persuade him. So he was able to separate Raila Odinga from these governors until just recently. And I've always told you that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. There is no coincidence that just a few days ago, the governor for Kakamega came out for the first time and declared publicly that he was supporting Raila Odinga's Mandamano and fully behind the Baba 100%. There is no coincidence that Simba Arati today in Kisii joined Nyong'o during the burial of that university student who was shot at from Maseno University, and the way he spoke like now the real ODM governor. And then there is no coincidence that while those were happening, the governor for Mombasa was also meeting with Raila Amolo Odinga. So for me, that meeting between Abdulswamad Nassir and Raila Amolo Odinga was intended for certain objectives. And that is what I want us to look into in this video. So in case you are not subscribed, please subscribe now. And to the subscribers, please, just for this particular video, drop your comment and also ensure you share the video. And for those who can't comment because of 1, 2, 3, please just give it thumbs up. And to those who support the channels, you can always do using the numbers which are in the description section. I don't want to scroll them here because I'm not going to edit this video. Now, why do I strongly believe that this meeting was about something else other than what most of you thought it was about? Let me just read for you the post to which Abdulswamad, the caption, how he captioned this meeting on his Facebook page. He's saying, I had a consultative meeting with my party leader, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, at his private office in Nairobi. That's him. He's proceeding. I consulted with him on matters of national interest, also affecting the people of Mombasa. So Abdulswamad is saying that he discussed with Raila Odinga matters of national interest, also affecting the people of Mombasa. And it's continuing and discussed the current affairs, the current state of affairs in the country. So he also discussed with Raila Odinga. Basically, according to him, he discussed with Raila Odinga two things: matters of national interest, which are also affecting the people of Mombasa. And the second thing he discussed with Raila Odinga is the current state of affairs in the country. And he shared that photo. And I went through comments, and a gentleman, I think, got it right. This gentleman is called Aman Abdallah Juma. He's telling the governor, Bwana Governor, do you discuss matters of national interest with the opposition leader? The only matters that can be discussed are matters pertaining ODM. Get your facts right. The truth of the matter is that matters of national interest, really, you discuss them with the various ministries. But for us to answer that gentleman, I want us to go further before he met Raila Odinga. Abdulswamad Nassir met with Musalia Mudavadi. And because I'm not going to display this on the screen, allow me just to read it and just pay very close attention. This is what he's saying about his meeting with Musalia Mudavadi. That I had a great meeting with the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, this morning, which is okay. They had a great meeting, which is okay. And pay very close attention to what he's saying. And pay very close attention to the tone. He's saying, we discussed the critical issues undermining devolution. Just get the tone. He's introducing that we discussed critical issues undermining devolution. For Raila Odinga, they discussed matters of national interest and also the current affairs. For Mudavadi, they discussed issues undermining devolution. County governments are grappling with the effects of delayed disbursement of funds, thus crippling operations and curtailing service delivery. So the sad news is that for 4 months, government has refused to disburse funds to the counties. So Abdulswamad Nassir is actually telling Kenyans that this government is undermining devolution. But it's not ending there. Now this is the most interesting part, which I want you guys to pay very close attention to, compared to how he's addressing Raila Odinga. He's saying, additionally, we discussed the issue of national government agencies in Mombasa operating outside the law. Mark that also. They also discussed the issues of national government agencies in Mombasa operating outside the laws and requested his intervention to ensure compliance of county government bylaws and policies. So again, here is talking of government agencies which are operating in Mombasa outside the law. So it means for Mudavadi, they were discussing issues and challenges, but it's now bringing those issues and challenges diplomatically to the people. Then from this meeting, he went and met with Raila Odinga, and of course, they all discussed these other issues. But let me take you now to politics. The dark secrets of Raila Odinga and Abdulswamad Nassir meeting. Before we do that, in case you have coffee for me, you can send it in the numbers below there. Now, the first thing which I got here is that Kenya Kwanza has actually betrayed these ODM governors. And they're now feeling the heat. You know, initially when Abdulswamad Nassir started working with the government, he would go to this office, take photos there, laugh, you know, happy. These government officials would go to his office, blah, blah. But you see, William Ruto made certain appointments in government. He placed his people with strict instructions, especially the issues he's talking of government agencies. So they're now trying to implement Kenya Kwanza policies. So I tend to think that there are certain issues or things which were promised to Abdulswamad. He's trying to get them, he's not. The same to Simba Arati. He was persuaded that, okay, you want to bring this hospital, it's a 2 billion project, work with the government, very fast it will be there. He's realizing that that's not the truth. So I tend to think that these governors have been shortchanged in their original agreements. So either they want to show Ruto that they can go back, and that's why Arati made that statement. That's why the governor for Kakamega made the same statement. The other day I also saw the governor for Trans Nzoia, Natembeya, also lamenting. So let us wait and see. Number two, I also tend to think that some of these governors are now making some tactical retreat. You know, they went, you know, sometimes when you go to war, you don't move very fast. So some of these guys decided to work with the government, so they went very far. And they realized that they were going very far, but alone, not with the people. So for me, these governors are not trying to make that tactical retreat back to Raila Odinga fold. Because Ruto is a schemer. He's already planning. So these guys are realizing that, if you're not careful, we are going to burn bridges with our parties. At the same time, burn bridges, this guy is not going to support us. So what will we do? So for me, the Azimio governors who are working with government are likely to make a tactical retreat. In fact, I just forgot to mention that William Ruto even went to Ukambani. In Ukambani, he has managed to win almost the 3 governors. Malombe is the one which is still with Kalonzo, but Wavina Ndeti is out. Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is out. So that's how deep William Ruto went to separate. In fact, someone was asking me, Lee, why is it that the demonstrations in Ukambani did not take place? It's because Ruto managed to win these governors. Raila Odinga's politics and Azimio, for that matter, were based on governors. So they are making now tactical retreat, and I won't be surprised to see Wavinya Ndeti making that tactical retreat back. Number 3, I also tend to think that some of these governors have realized that the ground is actually turning hostile to them, that the ground favors Raila. So if you are a governor of Mombasa, you want to work with the government, Raila Odinga is organizing demonstrations, you don't participate, then you retreat back, then you realize, okay, this is what's happening. The voters here are with Raila Odinga. What should I do? So you make a tactical retreat. You go and meet with Raila Odinga, take photo, share. And I also tend to think that the other reason could be that Kenya Kwanza are scheming for 2027. And these governors are not part of that scheme. And because of that, they are now realizing that it will be better for us, safer for us to stay. In fact, some of these governors feared petitions because some of them, like the Tana River governor, was facing serious petition in court. I know even in Homa Bay, the case which Gladys won against Kidero was revived again. Kidero went and petitioned again, and appealed again. You wonder why he's appealing. The truth is, they don't want the Gladys to be free. Abdulswamad, I think the case was withdrawn. You know, just the usual Kanu politics. So they have realized that Ruto is actually planning for 2027. If they are not careful, they'll be out of all these things. And lastly, I also tend to think that probably these guys are planning how they can revamp ODM party, especially in the coastal region. How do they revamp ODM party? The next Mandamano, coast will be there. How can cost be there? The governor must participate because the governor has the structures. Most of the people who are serving the party, most of them are probably now working for the governor. And again, thank you guys for your time. Bye-bye.